This chapter of One Piece was really good in comparison to the one we got last week. Then again, any chapter that opens up with "My man Sabo" is a step in the right direction. Either my man Sabo is beasting in terms of like power, or Burgess turned out to be a huge disappointment because it's like he's like, "Hey, are you gonna finish me off? My man Sabo." We get a shot of the underground. I believe that's where Doflamingo ended up, falling down to because there was a hole when he got beaten. And there's a guy that's with Koala and Hack who says the Marines will be here any minute. So everybody has to split. I mean, not just the revolutionaries, but the Straw Hats as well. Luffy doesn't have enough strength. Maybe the Straw Hats have already begun leaving the island because we didn't get to see them much in this chapter. Now, the Marines obviously have to show up. I'm just not sure who they're going to send to the island. I wouldn't be surprised if even Akainu shows up, because Doflamingo is a pretty big deal, because of the connection with the Tenryubito and all that stuff. Here's the thing, if you read the manga stream translation, what Ace told Blackbeard's crew was, and I quote, "Please don't tell my little brothers." That's a plural, more than one, which to me, I'm assuming that means that Ace knew that Sabo was alive. And Sabo looked so pissed. I thought he was going to crush Burgess' skull. And I don't know if the reason for why Oda is touching on this Ace and Sabo content right now is because of the episode of Sabo that's coming up in the anime. It's interesting because Burgess is intentionally trying to provoke Sabo so that he loses his cool so that he can use his knife to kill him and get the Meta Nomi. And so in a way, that's kind of like it's a shout out to Ace, because that's eventually what got Ace killed. The fact that he just came back to fight Akainu. In this case, it doesn't work because Sabo has the Meta Nomi, and he uses Fire Fist to burn Burgess to a crisp. I doubt he's dead, and I think the reason for keeping him alive has more to do with plot purposes than anything else. But I do think it's kind of like a symbolic touch that it's Ace, the one that kind of defeats Burgess, who's taunting Sabo. It's Ace's power, symbolically speaking. And I like how Sabo seems to have made peace with the fact that he couldn't save Ace, because he's like, yes, that's my one regret, but that's it. I don't want to have any other regrets. I'll keep that one to myself, but that's it. Hopefully the episode of Sabo explains more of why he wasn't able to get to Marineford, because it's obvious that it's something that really hurts him. Koala says that she's called in a ship already, so they've already done what they came here to do. They're going to be leaving pretty soon. The Donquixote executives are all KO'd and shit. I like how there's a girl still protecting Singer Pink. No, don't touch him. So the Marines are taking in the family devil fruit users with Sea Stone. I thought about this, and this is saving Doflamingo's life. If he gets taken by the Marines, then Kaido's gonna be where is he? And I don't know if he's gonna fuck with the Marines just to try and kill Doflamingo. Oda seems to not want to show Doflamingo's eyes at all, so that's still a mystery. So they're sending a broadcast to 3 of the closest islands, and one of them is called Apple 9. It's snowy, and if you look at the top of the houses, they look like apple tops. Another country seems to be inhabited by people who wear feathers on their heads. And then another island seems to be kind of like a tropical place because there's a bunch of palm trees there. King Riku was thinking of stepping down from the throne. Personally, I thought the throne would go to Kiros, but a lot of people really support King Riku and his pacifist ways. There is something that the citizens of Dressrosa say that I completely disagree with. They say that they would rather live in poverty than not have King Riku as their ruler, because King Riku stands for peace and not violence, right? But if you live in poverty, odds are there's going to be violence. It's not always the case, but those two things tend to go together because people need to eat. Isabello's there, and other rulers want to talk to King Riku, so everything seems to be okay, at least for now, when it comes to the island of Dressrosa. And the news of the Straw Hat Alliance and the Heart Pirate Alliance is going to break all over the world, and that's why I really like the finales, the ending of the arcs. Not because of the parties, but because of the expansive world implications that the fights have. Fujitora actually kneels down. Consequently, all of the Marines that are under him kneel down to King Riku, asking for forgiveness. And I kind of like this because I think Fujitora, to me, in this moment, embodies what a Marine should do. Because the job of the Marines should technically be to prevent and stop events like these from happening. But it's been doing a shitty job. So in a way, I really do agree with Fujitora's goal of just taking out the Shichibukai system because it makes no sense. Not for the Marines. It makes sense if you're a pirate because they get protection from the law. But the Marines, what do they get in exchange? Basically, like, you call them when you need them to fight for you. And even then, like, pirates are just, they don't behave. Hancock was attacking everybody in Marineford, Marines included. So why didn't Fujitora help take down Doflamingo? Plot purposes mainly, but also because he's part of a system, he's part of a structure, and he answers to people, so he can't just do whatever he wants. Like I said, I thought it was a pretty good chapter. If we don't get a party scene next week, then it's going to be even more interesting because now we get to set the course to whatever's next and hopefully see Sanji in the group. So let's see what happens with that. Thank you so much for watching. Like the review if you did. I appreciate that. Subscribe to my channel for more One Piece reviews. Comment. Tell me your thoughts. Thanks, guys.